Hello, my name is Alper and I'm a sophomore. I originally started this project with something business related in mind, eventually coming up with couch flipping. This was a popular and fairly easy way to make money I'd seen many times on TikTok. However, some very obvious problems quickly arose. I had no way to transport couches, which is a very obvious issue, and I didn't have any space in my house to comfortably hold a couch without it getting in everyone's way. So I quickly scratched that out and switched to a woodworking, repainting, and sanding project idea. I looked around for people's furniture in their driveways that they were trying to get rid of, and I do honestly think this was a good idea. I would have really enjoyed that, but the most simple problem came along, which somehow no one thought of, or maybe like just didn't mention. No one thought of, I don't think, which was that fall was coming, which means a lot of rain, and no one leaves wooden furniture outside in the rain. So, really quickly, my most effective and realistic way of getting furniture to work with was gone. So, to set the scene a bit, we are French, and my mother has been an amazing baker for as long as I can remember. I lived in France until I was 10 years old, and as all kids, I love pastries. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer last summer, but we're all lucky. The doctors caught it early, and she's totally fine. But the whole process was really painful for her and a horrible thing to go through. At the time I started my project, she was going through chemo, which left her really weak and low on energy all the time. I couldn't spend much time with her because she was always resting or sleeping, and I was busy. Uh, she started feeling better, but also getting bored, and for some reason, really got back into baking. Every day I would come home and smell something new she had made while I was at school or practice. Then a random weekend, I offered to help her in the kitchen because it seemed like a nice, pleasant way to spend time with her. I ended up enjoying it a lot, and it was relaxing and slow going. It took a lot of patience, which I don't have, but I need to work on anyways. And it was really nice just being able to talk with my mother about, anything really. My family really enjoyed the eclairs I made that day with her, and that brought me a lot of satisfaction and honestly gratification. Plus, it tastes great, and I love eating it. Then Monday rolled around and I had LDL first block, and on a whim, I decided to tell the teachers I switched my project. Totally unexpected to everybody that knows me, even including myself, I really got into baking. Every other day, I would make something different, and my family loved it. However, with sports and school really kicking off, it became trickier to spend as much time on it, but I always took the opportunity, whether it was on the weekends or a random Tuesday night. It was very rewarding, with smells I remember from when I was younger, and all these memories that might seem silly to others but mean a lot to me. The opportunity to work at a bakery came up, which really excited me, but it was smack in the middle of the school's soccer season, and with matches or practices every day until late in the evening, maybe up to like 8 p.m., I wasn't going to be their best option, and they unfortunately gave the spot to someone else. They did tell me that if another opportunity came, they would give me some sort of unspoken priority as the season would be over and I'd have much more time after school. Then, the first time we had to present our projects to the class came up. I think it was critique night, and I brought 4 plates of different things I'd made for the teachers and classmates to try. I practically got 100% positive feedback with just a couple tips from some students, parents who I assume also enjoyed baking. But the feeling of everybody loving it and continuously coming back to grab another one was awesome. It's very rewarding. Exhibition night came and I did a similar thing, just with different. I I baked different things. I really enjoyed exhibition night because on top of my peers saying it was delicious and asking for another one, I had a lot of parents and even grandparents take the time to really ask more questions. Um, Especially one of my friend's fathers came a lot. Uh, I also these are just a couple pictures of things I'd made earlier in the year. That one was a bust. So I have always enjoyed photography, or I, mm, since high school started, I've really gotten into photography, and our neighbor happens to be an amazing photographer. Whenever my mother or I make something that turns out nice, we always give her a couple so she can just get a couple really nice pictures for us. I brought up the fact that I'd really like to get into photography, and I plan on taking my first photography class next year at the school as an elective, and I'd love it if she could show me some neat tips and tricks. My mother bought our family, one of those nice cameras and a special just picture taking box an alumni had mentioned during critique night for taking nice photos. I've learned that it's important to try new things as you'll never know what you might end up enjoying. It's always a good idea to talk to people about these things because there's always someone who'll be willing to help you. With my neighbor and the photography, a family friend who knew the owner of the bakery nearby, and even people from critique and exhibition night. This has really helped with my patience and commitment. In making a batch of 75 of these same little cakes, it gets really hard to stay engaged, but I've come up with little ways to help, and I've noticed a reflection of that when I'm doing, for example, my chemistry homework. You just have to grind out the same types of problems for 2 hours. Finally, this has also taught me that finding quality time to spend with your family is really beneficial. The interactions with my parents went from constantly getting scolded for bad grades to spending a couple hours peacefully talking and chatting and getting nice comments from them. I'm really glad I switched my project to baking. I definitely think it was a good choice. I'm overall very happy with how everything turned out.